have a mix of NASA and commercial astronauts with us today on this panel. Some of you have worked within both industries. What are you most excited about when it comes to these emerging partnerships between NASA and commercial spaceflight?
I think, especially now with commercial where it is and NASA doing those incredible missions, it used to be back in the day commercial versus, it almost seemed like it was commercial versus government, but it's really commercial and government. And the capabilities together allow us to do so much more. So what I'm excited about is seeing that capability in space grow because of the synergy between commercial and government. NASA and other national agencies are doing that audacious work, going out and exploring areas and destinations that don't yet have a business case, and they can rely on commercial for suborbital and LEO and use their resources to get us to that next destination. So it's really cool to see them working lockstep, because it wasn't like that in the past.
It's important to remember, of course, that NASA has never existed without private corporations supporting, right? We've always had contractors doing work for NASA. NASA has just been the one leading the way, in many cases contracting out for companies to build spacecraft that we use directly. The difference now is that we're looking for service providers, so instead of doing all that work, we direct the work and provide those capabilities, and eventually we create an economy that is self-sustaining and not just relying on the government, but relies on those private companies to feed off of each other and create those economies of scale. And that's really what I'm excited about now, that we're finally to the point where the technology is meeting our needs and our expectations and our desires and the things we dream about for space exploration, and we create those opportunities. And remember, the money doesn't go to space, it creates jobs here on Earth, and that's what's really important about it, is that we're creating economies that people can then create opportunities for our planet.
Yeah, I agree with both of those. I work for Virgin Galactic. NASA is one of our customers. They fly research on our ship, which actually Sirisha personally did on a flight with me a few years ago.
And they were our first customer, actually, for research.
NASA was our first customer, and actually on my first flight, NASA was flying along with me, automated, and my job was to not kick NASA. So...
She did not kick NASA's payloads.
Thank you. Actually, what I'm looking forward to, I guess, the most is the success of all these years of private and public working together, such that private companies can be a service provider selling flights to NASA, and NASA can land people on the moon again. That's what I'm looking forward to.
So I think you're hearing a common theme here. There have been private companies contributing to spaceflight for decades, since the very beginning. The government doesn't do everything with only government employees. It never has. And, but what's kind of different as of late is that we are now flying people in space who are not associated with government and government astronauts. So real quick, who likes Star Wars and Star Trek and all those kind of movies? There we go, okay. How many people out there actually want to travel in space if they could at some point in their life? Okay? Well, the opportunity is so much closer than you think because of what's going on with these private enterprises. And so what we're doing with Blue Origin, with Virgin Galactic, with others, this is just the precursor to what's going to happen. And so the days where science fiction becomes a little more science fact, and the days where more of you will have opportunities, especially for your kids and your grandkids, that's coming because of what's happening now. So, I mean, I think everybody's really in favor of that because it's good for all of us.
Yeah, for Star Wars and Star Trek, everyone claps for that. This is just, it's a force multiplier for our industry. Getting all of this amazing knowledge and experience together that NASA brings with some of the ingenuity and creativity that we see in the commercial industry. We also at Blue Origin have flown NASA payloads through our Flight Opportunities program, and now we're working with NASA to build the lunar lander that will go to the moon with the Artemis program. And this is just, it's an absolute force multiplier. You cannot possibly achieve in a silo all of the things that you can achieve when you partner with other like-minded and diverse folks and agencies and companies. So to think that we're in a space where 600-ish people have ever left this planet, and that number is just going to absolutely multiply in a huge way, much more rapidly than we've seen in our lifetime.